Welcome, everybody, to episode 111 of Den Excelsior, the Mostly Marvel podcast. With me, as
Maybe
always, is Dennis.
maybe don't spike it so hard on 111.
What up, guys? 111. You make a wish, right? That's the rule.
111 is exactly how many backers Giant Man was short of the final tier.
That wasn't the segue I was looking for, but hey, this week we got Clarke.
111.
You don't
Welcome.
get me teeing up your segues. That's your job. That's your job. Your job. I just thought it was funny. It's the same number.
That is quite ironic.
Yeah. Yes. How are you doing, Clarke? You haven't been on the show for a little while.
No, been good. Good to be back. Always a pleasure, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Well, we got to catch up on Clarke takes. Ahsoka, yay or nay?
Yay. I like Ahsoka. I like the end. Well, again, I want to see where it goes, but I wouldn't call it Ahsoka. I'd call it Rebels season.
Do you know what a Mortis God is? Or Mortis Gods?
The Immortus Gods.
Immortus Gods.
Nope.
Okay.
Or is it? No, it is Mortis. I was
It is
thinking
Mortis.
I was thinking of the Kang guy. Yeah. Mortis Gods. You never watched
Oh,
all of,
wait.
Clone Wars?
It's the are those
The
the
father,
three
the
Jedi,
daughter,
the
and
father,
the
the
son.
daughter, and the son, and that's the statues
They're not,
that
they're not Jedi. They're just something else.
the Force. Yeah. Okay.
They're-
Yeah. Sorry. That's been a while. Had
So
to,
yes.
yes. So yes, I do. Now that you remind me, and now
did
that I
you catch-
remember,
Did you catch their statues in the episode of Ahsoka?
yes.
Okay.
Especially when you
Like,
made the
that was a
Lord of the
spoiler.
Rings reference, standing on the hand and stuff. But I like all the Dave Filoni stuff. It'd be interesting to see where I like seeing Ezra again. I really like that, and I want to see how Ezra blends in with the rest of Star Wars and such. And so, I think all in all, it was entertaining. It was good.
Has Ezra always been a man? I thought he was like
Yes.
a boy.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
You remember how long they've been gone? He was a
yes.
boy.
He started as a
Rebels-
teenager.
Rebels
Oh, okay.
ends. Rebels ends right before Rogue One.
Oh, that's when that happens?
Yes.
For whatever reason, I thought it was after.
No, it's
Oh,
before. It's
okay.
before
Rebels
the
goes right
original
into
trilogy.
Rogue One.
It
Yeah.
makes sense why he's not a
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah. It's been a while. So
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
What
Thrawn,
else is-
honestly, Thrawn's looking really good for how old
Yeah.
he is now too.
That also
Yeah.
explains why he looks the way he does.
Yes, they aged. They had aged.
I will just say, Thrawn stormtroopers. It's just like, what an interesting way to paint them. But I just want to know kind of like more the significance. I mean, it looked like they
were the
looked
Night
like
Troopers, right? Is that what they
the
were?
night troopers, especially the one with the gold face, and then the one, the one that
Enoch.
clearly
Cool.
Enoch. Yeah.
Mhm.
Enoch
And,
was great.
they looked like really professional fan paints of like regular stormtroopers.
They probably
where-
were.
And I just want to, I'm like, okay, if you're going to do that cool, I want to know their story.
Oh,
how
we're
that
gonna
is.
know their
yes.
stories at some point.
Yeah.
We are gonna
So-
know. The last time you were on, Clarke, was for Mortal Kombat.
That's right.
That's actually not that long ago.
That was like a month ago.
It's
2
about a
months ago?
month ago.
It's a month and a half, something like that. Yeah.
We talked about Ahsoka a little bit, but what do you think is the next Filoni series? Is it going to be a Mandalorian one, or is it going to go different? Another character, Book of Boba Fett 2.
I think he's on deck for the movie, right?
Well, all I know is that show motivated me to go and actually watch all of Bad Batch. So maybe Bad Batch season 3 might come before other stuff too. I don't know. But yeah, I think he is on deck for a movie, and I've seen like articles saying, like, analysts are saying that the ratings for Ahsoka and Andor weren't great though. Like even if they got, if the critics like, so we'll see. Like analysts are like, don't give Filoni a movie. His shows are doing bad, and I'm like,
I mean, to
Filoni
be fair,
do
Andor got Emmys, right?
I know,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. Yeah. What other nerdy stuff have you been getting into lately, Clarke?
Well, Halloween done. So I had my return of my Nightmare Before Christmas sing along. That was a lot of fun. Party with that, and did another. Went to a really
with
good.
Danny Elfman?
Well, I did it.
I
This was a personal one. I didn't go
Oh.
to the
Yeah.
Hollywood Bowl this year
was like,
because
I was gonna say
they raised the price. I mean, I went last year, but last year was a Danny Elfman concert, which was amazing, and where he did a bunch of Oingo Boingo stuff and Batman and his other stuff and Nightmare, and this year the prices for the Nightmare Before Christmas, just the concert at Hollywood Bowl, woo, they have shot up.
Is that because he's got lawyers to pay now?
It could be. It's but substantially higher than it was in previous years. So I decided to just throw my own party again and had a blast. And
I mean, you see him do it once, right? You have to do it again.
Apparently, Clarke has to do it every year.
I've done it many years, but yeah, at some point you are correct.
Did it hit different now that Paul Rubens is dead?
Not me watching the show. Going to the concerts, that did hit different last year.
Well, Paul Rubens died this year.
Well, he wasn't at the show last year, so
yeah, but he died this year though. Yeah,
okay,
that's true. He did have cancer probably, so that's probably why he wasn't at the show.
But yes, we still did our. I made audience participation rules like Rocky Horror and stuff, so. I have when Lock, Shock, and Barrel, whenever they giggle, everybody in the audience gets to giggle together and fun stuff like that.
You should record that. Yeah. You should have recorded
Thanks for the invite, Clarke.
I know, right? I know,
that's true.
Sounds like a fun party.
There, yeah.
Didn't even have to go buy tickets to her concert this time.
Next year.
Yeah, and record it.
So, and then I went to this interactive play called Delusion that is still going on.
Is that the one you've done that one before, right?
I have, and it's different every year, but that's
I was
what
very interested in it after you talked about last year, and I totally forgot what it was because I want to do it.
So it still has tickets through the rest of it because it goes beyond Halloween. But this year, it was neat. They combined all the stories to say that the author of the Delusion stories is going insane, and she's trying to bring back her daughter who died in a fire, and so all the stories are combining. So they had, it's kind of like the greatest hits of previous stories, but like you walked outside of the mansion and you're going towards the back house, and the vampire brides from an earlier one. It's like you see one of them up on the roof and she's like dancing around something like that. And then she sees you and screams and jumps off the roof right at you, lands right behind this fence with ivy. So you can't see the pat, but like she lands, and then someone else like that's dressed exactly like her jumps up immediately from behind the fence and like tries to grab you. Really good stunts. I mean, this is like stunt work that you would see at like a professional park and such.
It's like you walk through a house essentially, and there's different things going on through the house. Okay,
but your character's in it, so like the play interact with you, and so they can touch you, but they don't like grab you, but they do things like put their arm like, come on, we have to go this way, and sometimes you get separated. Like the first one that I saw, the evil piano teacher kidnapped one of our group, and it was ironic that she was actually a piano student, or she plays piano. So we didn't know what happened to her until we rescued her later, but she had her own little side adventure. And because she can actually play, she's playing like these duets with the evil ghost piano teacher,
funny.
which is that was pretty awesome.
How long is it? Like 2 hours?
It's about an hour.
Okay.
So it's about 100, depending on what time you go. It's 100 to 140 bucks for the hour. This year I did the VIP. I got to do the VIP thing, so I got to dress up as a zombie and scare a later group. That was a lot of fun.
Like they kit you out with makeup and stuff.
They did not, because the scene, they didn't have to. They kitted me out with.
They're
clothes.
just like, you look good as is. You're good.
Yeah,
to go.
you're good. you were a dead body basically, and then that comes to life. And so
so you're like a
you up as close.
CSI extra.
Yes, I was a CSI extra.
Okay.
But then you got to move, go towards them, and that was a lot of fun. And then you could watch. They had videos up of other parts of the house where you could watch other groups go through and see the scares. So, tickets still available. I will. That's my plug for them. Delusion.
All right, I will definitely make an attempt to go.
Yeah, it's what I do instead of Hollywood Horror Nights or something, because the idea of
I don't think I'll ever do that.
Spending 3 hours waiting for a 5-minute maze.
No, not worth it.
Is not worth it. So
something I think we've all been doing. I think we've all been playing Spider-Man.
Man, I haven't been playing it enough. That's my problem.
Take off the shirt then. You can't.
You know the other thing. No, I earned this shirt. Okay, this shirt's mine. I sat in 2 lines for this shirt. I think the thing that I have a problem with right now with Spider-Man is I am addicted to photo mode. So every time I get several hours to play that game, I just take a billion pictures, and I don't get anywhere in the story. And it's my fun, like it's like that photo mode's so good. Like I just love it so much. I can't stop. So why are you asking though?
No, I actually I'm like 8 to 10 hours in, I think, around
nice.
there. I'm a good way through the story.
I think I am too, but still very early in the game.
I got the black suit. I like it. I that is a good ass Spider-Man. And then I was trying to think, is this the first time where there's an actual like Miles and Peter story where they're the same universe?
No, it's in the
Peter
comics.
was in Miles.
I
With Miles Morales.
I thought Peter died.
That's okay.
No.
Peter was in the Miles Morales story, the game.
No. He means universe. He means universe.
In the universe, like other stories, Spider-Man stories in comics or movies.
So yes, in the comics, originally, Ultimate Peter Parker dies, and then Miles kind of replaces him, because you find out Miles has been around for a while, or I think they introduce him before Peter dies. But really what happens is after that story continued, and then eventually Marvel did Battle World. Battle World was an excuse, basically a giant crossover event. The whole point of it was just to get Miles into the 616. So they folded universes upon them. And now Miles exists. Ever since that story, Miles has existed in the same universe.
They're from different universes, though, technically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, I mean, Into the Spider-Verse, there was a Miles and a Peter.
Okay, but they weren't like
lots of Peters.
There's one he died.
No, but I'm saying the one from his universe was there.
Yeah. For a minute. All right.
Yeah, but
so no, I think is what you're saying.
Yes, I mean. Well, I mean the original comic, and then also the cartoons, like every cartoon.
I guess he's in the Drake Bell one.
Well, he's in all the cartoons since Drake Bell. Also, like he's in. It's like they have a kids show together called Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends.
I know that now. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot that story's canon as well.
There's a bunch of cartoons that all have Miles in it, so yes, it's pretty normal. So. But do any of those shows do it as well as the game? No, they do not. No. The game makes you really excited to experience it, because in this universe, you get to control it. You know what I mean? And that's what makes it really fun. And you're never controlling both of them, but it's really cool when you go and you stop a crime, and all of a sudden the other one that you're not playing shows up to help you.
That never gets old.
That is so cool. it reminds me of Arkham City a little bit. Like here's the thing. That game is so smart because it borrows from some of the greatest games in like the last 10 years or 15 years. You know what I mean? Like it borrows from so many of them, and it perfectly fuses a lot of those things together. So but it does feel derivative in every, in all those ways. You're like, well,
Well, it's good because it's a good story, but
yes.
it's a good game. It feels good to play. You're not playing the story. You're playing a Spider-Man game that has
Yeah.
a good story.
Do I
So,
think it's better than Baldur's Gate 3? Nope. Not a chance. Not even close.
no.
I feel guilty when I'm playing Spider-Man 3 or Spider-Man 2 because I should be playing Baldur's Gate 3. That's how much I love Baldur's Gate 3. I'm wearing the shirt for the game and saying Baldur's Gate 3 is better. That's all. That's all.
I gotta get out of the dang Underdark.
Oh man.
Clarke,
Underdark's
any
pretty
thoughts
crazy.
on Spider-Man?
I have not had a chance to play it yet because mine is in the mail. But when I do get it, I will play it. And even though I should be playing Baldur's Gate 3, but no, I love it. I keep saying that Spider-Man 2018 is in my top, not only superhero video games, but just favorite video games ever. I absolutely love that game. One of the testaments that I had is that I would have friends over and I would stick the controller in their hand and just give them the basic rudimentaries on how to swing. And every single person would, within a couple minutes, be having a blast swinging through the city.
Yeah.
Just
it's the bare minimum, like, and they achieve like that's there's a, when I say bare minimum, I do mean there is a high bar for fun web slinging, and that game perfectly meets and exceeds that bar always.
Yes.
So I had a, when the first game came out, I had the pleasure of like doing like a focus test way before it was ready to release, and then like I got to give them feedback on like the different mechanics, like the swinging, the combat, and all these things, and I laundry listed like the reference points to use. Like I was like, for swinging, PS2 Spider-Man 2. It's just like that was the bar.
Didn't they end up getting that guy?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
They did.
No, they did a video where they had the guy who did the swinging for the Spider-Man 2 PS and they showed him the swinging on this, and he's like, "Oh, they did it." They did exactly what this is exactly how I wanted it.
Because wasn't it in Spider-Man 2, did the webs actually attach to stuff?
Yes.
And it's 3 that they don't, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 1 they don't for sure. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to, like, I like playing the default, but I know that this one has a setting to do realistic web swing, and I just want to try that.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
What that means is
your arm.
when you web to the right, it's going to pull you towards the right because that's where the anchor point is on your swinging. So there's a setting in the settings called web assistance. And if you turn, it's defaulted to 100%, and that's what gives the easy. You're moving forward.
That's what makes you feel good.
Yes, that's what makes you feel good,
look awesome,
and feel good. Yeah. And that also guarantees that you'll never take fall damage. It always does that last minute, like landing or other stuff. But if you put it to 0, it's really, you'll bump into stuff. You'll tilt towards kind of the direction. That
I got to put it to 0 now. I have to.
I just have to try it.
Good luck.
But I know I'm going to go back to the default to 100 because I love that feeling of just pure holding down R2 and zoom in. And I haven't tried the web. I can't wait to try the web wings and such. Yeah. So
I think it's the first game to ever include the web wings.
Probably, certainly as a gameplay mechanic.
Yeah, I can't recall one ever doing that before. Mm-hmm. So
it's the best Superman game.
But
or it's the second best Batman game. I don't know.
I mean, I love the story. I talked about the music. I the theme from the PlayStation Spider-Man games, I think is the best Spider-Man theme. I really like it.
Well,
That's
would you like?
that's a high bar.
It is a high bar, but it's I really like the melody, and I really like how it's incorporated throughout the game. And the first one was just so well. I don't know. I assume it's going to be, the storytelling is going to be up to par, of the first one and of Miles. And the first one was a real baller at the end.
Yes, just don't compare it to Baldur's Gate 3. That's all.
I won't. Baldur's Gate 3 is. I'm with you. I think he said somewhere. It's game of the year. I mean, it's game of the years. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Well, we got some stuff in the news eyeing
Yes.
for that title.
Good segue.
Insomniac doing the victory press slap on the launch of Spider-Man 2, selling I think upwards of 2.5 million in the first 24 hours.
Fastest selling PS5 game ever, right? Or PlayStation game, period, right?
Yeah. Their next game, or a game they're working on, is a Wolverine game. I believe they teased this 2 years ago,
Yep.
years ago.
The same time when they showed Spider-Man 2.
Yes. Long story short, they basically confirmed that this Wolverine is indeed in the same universe as our Spider-Man.
Cool.
So
That's cool.
That's all we got. I think
Wow.
the only other thing we know so far, it's going to be M, if I'm not mistaken.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it has to be him. Duh.
What was the movie game? Was M, right? The
Oh
weird one?
yeah, that game was amazing.
But there were
The God
two
of War-
versions.
The God of War one. You're talking about the God of War one, right?
Yeah,
The X-Men Origins
the X-Men
Wolverine.
Origins Wolverine.
Yes.
That was God of War Wolverine.
Yeah.
It was awesome. There was another one that was like technically tied into the movie, but it wasn't movie related. It was like Mark Hamill was the voice of Wolverine. That's also a really good game too. It's super hard, but fun game.
Movie tying games, man. Gotta love them.
Well, look, Insomniac. We'll try. I can't wait for that. They've earned trust.
Yeah, they've earned the trust over and over again.
Yeah.
Any of you guys play Magic the Gathering?
I
Nope.
haven't for years, and this is a weird.
It's really not that weird. Like
It
they've
isn't.
already started doing. They did Transformers last year.
They've
You know
been
what I mean?
creeping up on this.
Yeah, they've been doing lots of stuff.
So
it's
starting in
Magic-
2025, there will be Marvel and Magic the Gathering. Or basically, Marvel characters are coming to Magic the Gathering, and it's a multi-year thing. So they're actually, I'm assuming, going to get some longevity, probably some tournament play. I'd hop back in for Magic for this. No, you wouldn't be. You guys are all Snap people now.
Yeah, I don't want to buy real cards.
They don't
Then I have to
animate.
Then I have to store real
You
cards.
got to buy
man.
sleeves and a deck.
If I wanted to
box.
buy real cards, I'd get into that Disney one that sold out immediately.
I got some
Yeah.
of those.
That you got it.
I got some
Yeah.
on my desk.
Mhm.
Yeah, no thanks. It's cool.
Last little bit of news, circling back to Ultimate Spider-Man. I guess they're rebooting the Ultimate Universe
They are with Jonathan Hickman is
with
writing
Jonathan
it, right?
Hickman. And
What?
Like
This is
that's what's
news
so
to
funny.
me.
That's what's so funny to me is that Jonathan Hickman was literally the guy that destroyed the Ultimate Universe. So it's like,
job
okay,
security, baby.
I guess so, right?
It's going to be Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Storm, and Ultimate Black Panther are the three pillars of the new Ultimates universe.
Okay.
And what's interesting about this Spider-Man, which they've ran news cycles through, it's a story of Peter Parker, a Peter Parker who becomes Spider-Man in his 40s. So that's a take.
Interesting.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll take it.
I'm down.
Yeah. I just like lots of different ones. Give
I
me
mean-
all the Spider-Man ever.
The reason why I love Superman and Lois is because they have all those family stories, because now Superman has a family and he and Lois are married, and they're able to do all these other types of
Yeah.
stories because it's a new take but with the characters the same way, there should be. So we've always wanted a Spider Family because his kids just keep getting kidnapped or taken and then they come back full grown adults or in a different universe. And so I think it'd be very interesting to see a Spider Family where he and MJ actually got to raise their children.
Yeah. We want all the takes.
Yeah.
Give them all.
Well, raising children and raising viewer counts. Quick little shout out before you switch over to the news or the toy news part of this show. ACBA podcast. We got some screen time there. You're showing off some of your photos.
Sorry, I'm still trying to get over that segue. Yes, they did. I think I mentioned before the previous weeks, I'm participating in the ACBA, which stands for Articulated Comic Book Art October Challenge. And that basically means I'm putting out a new picture based on a prompt every day for all 31 days of October. And I was really surprised. I just happened to tune in for the first time in a while to their show the other day. And when they were doing their highlight pictures of the week, the first one that showed up was one I just put out on Tuesday. And I thought that was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Or was it Monday? I can't remember.
Yeah, they gave you a shout out. They remembered you from Comic-Con.
They did.
Even remembered you from posting updates on good old Hank.
Wow. So I don't even get to talk about the.
You can talk about it. We can loop back.
No.
That was a good segue.
I knew you had it ready to go. I knew it was coming. They also remembered me as being the guy who tracks the HasLab campaigns and does forecasts of where they're going to end. And I was really happy to see, even when a lot of people were seriously doubting in the last final days, including Clarke, I knew that this campaign would reach its
Math
funding
don't lie.
goal. Yeah, it did. It reached its goal, and it even exceeded that and got the first tiered stretch goal, which was the zombie attachments, the zombie faceplates and stuff. So I'm really happy because I was bummed that last year I didn't get to have my birthday present show up this year, so this one's my birthday present this year, and I'll get him next year around my birthday. So I'm excited, and congrats to everybody who participated in that. And we get another giant freaking toy arriving in a year.
What's the next giant toy?
People really want Fing Fang Foom because we have one. I think that's a big order, but hey, if there's money to be taken, Hasbro will do it. So
I wonder how articulated they can make them.
Very.
Yeah, he's got to be able to move his whole body.
If they come with the shorts, I'm game.
I mean, yeah.
What, you don't want Dragon Dong?
No, I want the shit. They come with the shorts, cloth shorts.
The shorts are good. Shorts are pretty good. Yeah. But Fing Fang Foom, for anybody listening, is just the biggest, most freaking giant, I guess Asian dragon, right? He kind of looks like Asian inspired.
McCluckins? Not McCluckins, McLuhans.
They're an alien race.
A long-bodied dragon.
Yes, and it's a giant dragon, and it is the enemy of Iron Man, and that's hilarious. That's hilarious to me that Iron Man has a giant Asian dragon as his enemy.
I mean,
and the Mandarin.
When you put those two,
Still,
there's some stereotypes going on with Iron Man.
I wouldn't think Iron Man would have, a giant dragon as his arch enemy, but he does, and cracks me up. So yeah, fans would like to see that, and and more recently, Hasbro did their 1027 event today. It's kind of like a secret event where it's not really secret. They just kind of make it hush hush because they only invite premium members who then share the link with all their friends. But it's like a little mini stream to celebrate the address of their headquarters, which is on 1027 something lane. And yeah, they just do little drip feeds of new products and stuff like that. And so, they definitely were showing off their appreciation for the fans for the previous HasLab. And then they were quick to get right on it with introducing a brand new one today, which is a Ghostbusters one. So I'll be tracking that a little bit. but I don't really care. I'm not going to buy it. It's the trap and the PKE meter.
Okay, but that Scarlet Spider is so gorgeous.
Well, yeah, I was getting there, but yeah,
I know.
but I'm just letting you know I will be doing numbers on that. Not every day because it's stupid. But moving on, I did yes, I was tuning in more specifically for the Marvel stuff, and they kind of excited me and pissed me off at the same time by dropping 3 new Spider-Man comic-based figures available for pre-order today, including the Scarlet Spider, a new update to him. The Last Stand Spider-Man. I think that's also Spider Assassin, right? Is that the other name, or am I thinking is it a different one?
You got me.
I might, yeah. And then Jack-O-Lantern on a classic body. And what's cool about this is like those are 3 really awesome figures. What's weird about it is, are they not part of a wave of 6 figures? Are we just selling however many figures we want at any given time now?
They're
like,
all card backs, right?
Yeah, but like there's supposed to be a wave of them at least, like I don't know.
I mean, maybe they'll come in a wave, right? Like there could be 3 more
fair.
Spider-Man.
It's fair.
Or it could be with the
they-
other one's coming solo too.
In fairness, they did this with the Disney Plus What If wave for She-Hulk. They put out 1 new figure for pre-order every week for 6 weeks or 7 weeks. And you're like, why are you doing this to us? Just let us order them all at once. It's weird. But I'm not mad. The Scarlet Spider, like as Clarke was saying, is really juicy. It's got that new Spider-Man body with the toe articulation, and they even made the vest a separate piece this time.
That's the key.
So that it doesn't mess up the spider, and it still works with the articulation that's underneath, which is really, really good. So yeah, obviously he's going to replace the other Scarlet Spiders I have, and yeah. And then that Jack-O-Lantern replaces a Toy Biz one I've been hanging on to that is really ugly.
I think it's cool. I didn't realize the little bombs you have plug into his belt.
Just one.
Oh,
just one does. The rest of them are.
That's not cool anymore.
It's not. It's just
I rescind my coolness.
Yeah. Well, your coolness was rescinded a while ago. And then there's the pictures you could have been flipping through as we discussed them. And then I found this bit of news also today. I guess the new MCU collector got to reveal the new Unlimited exclusive, Marvel Unlimited exclusive. What is it? The Marvel Unlimited Plus membership, which gets you a free Marvel Legend in the mail once a year. The new one this year is Nova in like a red outfit. I'm not familiar with this outfit.
Weird.
I think it looks terrible.
Yeah.
But it's probably comic accurate to something. So whatever. It's free toy. I'll take it.
After last year's, which was
no
amazing.
Card back.
Last year's was Daredevil, right? Yellow?
Yeah, Daredevil with the red and yellow.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, I like that one. I didn't like that he had the older articulation. That was pissing me off, considering I just got a brand new, super articulated Daredevil on a red, in the red outfit. But yeah, and then moving on, I think there was one last thing. There's him next to his original body, so you can see the repaint. There's him with some other members of the New Warriors. I don't know why they didn't include the Rage figure in there, but yeah. There you go. And then Namorita, they already announced is coming soon.
Night Thrasher.
So yeah, it's gonna get cool. Was there any more on there that I can't remember if I had any more?
That's it.
That's it. I gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, the one last thing I could do if you want to, before we move on to the next thing, is if you guys are like, I didn't get to ask you, but are you guys digging the pictures I've been putting out?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ricky, the Professor X one was your favorite one, right?
That one has taken, I would say, number 2, because I really do think in terms of best picture, is the one with the hood, the Ermagerd.
The Ermagerd, okay.
Yeah,
gotcha. Well, I wanted to see if you wanted to get a sneak peek of tomorrow's picture. It's not edited yet, so I still have to do some pictures to it. You ready?
Ooh, that's some good lighting. You're working them angles.
That's nice.
That's good. The Galactus is the French chef's kiss.
Tomorrow's theme is called Darkest Timeline. And so I decided to take a crack and dig out all of the Marvel zombies I have, including Headpool and Galactus, and throw them all in a scene that is really desperately missing Giant Man, but
Yeah, he
whatever.
could have waited a year.
I know, right? I could wait a year. But he would have taken up too much space in this picture. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you that. And the finished one will be out tomorrow.
Is that a TV behind you?
It could be. Yes, it is. It's my TV.
Okay.
That's how I did
looks
it.
Good. That looks really good.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
Yep. I'm glad you like it. There's only 4 days left of the month, so I'm really excited because I have 3 of those pictures already done. And so I have some breathing room finally and to get to Halloween.
Let's use this breathing room to talk about Loki. That wasn't the worst segue ever.
It wasn't the best one either, bro.
Loki season 2, episode 4, the one where stuff starts happening.
It's called Heart of the TVA, and I would argue that still nothing happened until the last minute.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah. Nothing really did happen. The whole 4 episodes have technically been a wash up to this point.
I mean, I don't know. Clarke, how are you enjoying this show?
Yes, let's bring it back to the
I thought about this, and I have my perfect analogy. Key lime pie. I like pie.
Okay.
It's delicious. I like key lime pie. It's not my favorite flavor, but if you put it in front of me, I'll eat it. I like key lime pie, but I like cake better. So this has just been 4 episodes of key lime pie.
All right.
Okay, it's there, but there's it's funny. I was watching them, and I'm like, I'm also getting this really big like BioShock vibe, from these, especially when they went back. Yeah. And then when Miss Minute said, "Would you kindly?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" Now they're
it's very BioShock, and I think aesthetically this show is amazing. Like visually, the things you're looking at, the framing, the set design, like all
easy
of that
on the eye.
Yeah, I'll never stop praising that. But like, I just didn't care what was happening for most of the episode, and it was kind of a bummer. I did like when Miss Minutes crushed all those dudes with the box. Spoilers, guys. So yeah, Miss Minutes and Ravonna come back, and they try to plead to all of the prisoner ex-TVA or rogue TVA agents to help her take over the TVA and blah blah blah. I don't care. But then they threaten them, and then Miss Minutes puts them in the nice shrinking box, and you just hear some really disgusting noises happen and screaming, and that was probably my favorite part of the entire episode, because I got to watch, because I watched that little cartoon clock, and she had the most evil face I've ever seen on a cartoon clock. It was terrifying.
When she dies is when it got pretty scary.
Did she die?
When she
got reset
or whatever. Whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. It was pretty dark. Yeah. Tara Strong has just killed it as that character this entire show. I look forward to Miss Minutes more and more every time I watch the show, because that character is getting dark, like just dark. Like
the other thing that kind of bugs me is this is another case of, isn't this an Avengers level event? Like, this seems like a pretty big event to have nobody else
games
involved. I'm like at least even like Doctor Strange. I'm like, I know story wise, or like in terms of reality wise, of course they can't get cameos like that, but it's, if this were a comic book, this would not only be Loki.
No, I feel like that if this was a comic book, this would be the prelude to a giant crossover event.
Yes.
which I think it technically is supposed to be, right? I think
that's
that's
that's the other thing that I'm waiting for to judge, because it feels like it should be, and you're like, okay,
it's a prologue, right?
mhm.
Maybe. I hope it is.
And like it's seeing
I mean,
Kang
no, it is.
again,
It's not like
and you're like,
Kang's already come
okay.
back.
I was wondering, did they already film his scenes before the issues, or
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
They filmed all of him in October of last year. So like they were like they still don't. They issued a response last week after talking about him, coming back last week, and like the director of the episode was just saying like, hey, is that weird that he got arrested? Hell yeah. Does it change the fact that I had a blast directing that episode? Nope. And it's like, I get it. Yeah, just appreciate the art you did and the work you did, and don't let his drama ruin your high. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so the the interviewers felt compelled to ask him about it, but he wasn't letting it bring him down. Like they're like, dude, did you see that episode I directed? That was awesome. So I get it. Like, they explain like Jonathan Majors, he already filmed the whole thing. And on top of that, like, it's still kind of up in the air, right? Like, people don't know.
It's weird. It's weird till it's in it. It's weird till it isn't. And I mean, I think it's where I'll leave it.
Yeah, that's all we can do is just leave it at that. So you just, like it's that whole separating art from artist thing. Sometimes if you want to enjoy art, you have to figure out a way to do that. It's up to everybody to decide where their line is, but I think for right now, I'm just letting it be, alleged versus.
I mean, my sense is like if Disney is taking that on, they must feel pretty good.
Yeah,
right.
I mean that's the other thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gross. It's weird because it's gross, and it's gross because it's weird.
But you're right. He's doing a great job. He's amazing in that part.
He really is. He's super good.
Yeah. And it is amazing. I love seeing how diverse his
range of Kangs are.
Yeah, range of Kangs.
How many Kangs he has to do?
It's awesome. I mean, I totally see why they picked him.
It could be the role of a lifetime if these charges get dropped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, really, like he could never stop. He could play Kang forever, right? Like and it never has to be the same Kang. He can play a different Kang every time they ever want to bring him back. Like they could shelve him for 30 years, then bring back old Kang. You know what I mean? Like they could just do whatever they want with Kangs. And then 20 years after that, they could do super de-aged Kang with his old person body doing way better than Indiana Jones technology. You know what I mean? Like they could just do whatever they want. And I love him for that. As long as those charges get dropped, just that's my fingers crossed right there. Because I really do like what he's done in the time he's existed as a Kang, Is the Quantum Mania one great? No, but at least he looked like Kang, but I like the ones that are in Loki better so far, so like it's fun to see that, we get a nice, hopefully we get a nice variety. And hopefully it doesn't tank the entire MCU.
There are billions of dollars riding on.
I know, right? It's crazy. Like it's so crazy. That said, though, look how much time we spent talking about Kang in an episode about Loki, and it's because I didn't really care about any of the things that happened to anybody other than Victor Timely.
They all blip essentially. They all disappear. They all die.
But Victor died. Victor,
yes.
Woo, that was gnarly. And that was fun for me because like I think that's the conceit with Kangs, right? If we're gonna have variants, it's just like Rick and Morty, right? You got to expect that the Ricks sometimes they're gonna die, and then we're gonna move on to a different Rick or something like that, So I like that, and I liked how horrific that death was. That was really cool.
It's all. I mean, granted, to be fair, they didn't. they didn't lose, right? There's still 2 episodes left where I'm assuming Loki comes out ahead in some capacity. But I always enjoy moments where heroes lose, and you got to sit with it.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go a whole week.
Unless they don't have to sit with it because they forget.
That's true, and I like how they've been dealing with even more these episodes about Loki and the concept of what makes a hero, what makes a villain. How can Loki ever really atone for his past acts or not? But I like that it's clear to see that this version is trying, even though there's people that are not.
I don't think it's atoning though. I think honestly it's more like self-perseverance in a broader sense.
I think he's let me rephrase. I think he's trying to do better. I think he's trying to be more of the hero.
I think
he's made that decision.
Yes. I think he's a little addicted to the drug of being a hero now.
Yes, and I like how you put that, because that's fair. And I think he sees like why Thor. He ties the way that he talks about Thor, that he gets, kind of more why Thor does what Thor does. Yeah. But like, and I think that's good, that slow move, because, when this all started, we had the Loki that had already sort of gone through this journey through Ragnarok and then being killed in Infinity War, and like going back to Avengers timeline Loki when he was absolutely the villain, and that's where this started. And then season 1, it started sort of the process, and then seeing how this goes in season 2 when he's like, all right, got to save the entire universe, and I like being on this side of it. And then that feeling, it's interesting.
I agree with you. I do like when heroes lose, but I don't like when you and I both know that Loki is in next week's episode.
There's too much time on the clock.
Well, that is true.
You gotta do it. I'll say this. I did enjoy in Ant-Man Quantumania when they kind of lose for like a second. They lose, and my gut tells me that they were supposed to lose, and then all of a sudden that portal opens up from Hope. Right, and they get Scott back out into the normal realm.
But that's what I'm saying. They completely betrayed the impact of I
was riding a high for like a minute in that.
For like a minute, they completely undercut the emotional relevance and importance of the defeat. Mm-hmm. by immediately, and so that was for me the one weird thing about Victor dying in this episode is shortly after Victor dies, everybody gets wiped, and it's like, I mean, I get that was the point, right? If you failed at that, then everybody died, but now it means well, is Victor dead now? Or are we gonna reboot? So that's kind of my thing is when you do shenanigans like this, I feel like ScarJo wins, right? Because she's the one that still gets to stay dead. I get a little tired of it, knowing that, oh well, it's comics, so they'll come back. I kind of like the idea of Black Widow never coming back. That would be cool to have death mean something, and I just feel like we're getting into that dangerous zone of comic book inspired shows and movies that are going to start leaning into that trope, because that's honestly one of the worst tropes in comic books is how death is very meaningless, and so I don't want to see that carried over too often in comics.
And I'm with you, except and unfortunately the counter that a number of the greatest characters made in the last 15 years have come from the never coming backs. That's how we got Winter Soldier, and that's how we got Red Hood. Bucky was supposedly never coming back, and Jason Todd was never coming back until somebody finally did cross that line.
But do you want Uncle Ben to come back?
Heck no.
I mean, I
It's
was
a-
kind of
well,
down in
I
Amazing
want Aunt
Spider-Man.
May to die and
Yeah.
stay dead.
That's
You
what I'm
know?
saying. Like I'm never opposed to like, you
Yeah.
know, like exploring the stories, you know, that happened because of that. But like how cool would how much cooler would Bucky have been if he stayed the new one and Steve never came back? You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's just
And I brought up that point showing that those are things that strengthen, unfortunately, the trend against of what you just said, is that they've had successes by bringing back the never coming backs. And so when Secret Wars comes out and ScarJo comes in from another dimension,
it'll be
walk to the portal.
it'll be fun. Everybody will have their fun, but again, this is why I will always be the broken record and say, we peaked at Infinity War, guys. It just it can never reach that level of awesome, because in Infinity War the stakes were real, right? Like all the stakes still mattered until they didn't in later stories, you know. So
well,
and while I always say, and why the blip was just so brilliant, because even though they brought characters back, there's that 5 years that Thanos took that nobody got back. You know, they didn't go back to the original. They had to deal with those 5 years, and Thanos took those 5 years
forever,
from the universe. And that is, you know, that great example. So this, yes, when the big wave came and blew, I was like, okay, so the next episode is going to start in a pure white room and Loki standing there going, what? You know, like a la Ready Player One pulling out an extra life.
Wasn't this the exact point in the last season when Loki got pruned?
Yes.
It is, right? And then he wakes up in the end of time.
Next one is the Loki's episode, and the next one is the end of it.
And then there's 2 episodes in the end of time, right? Where like the one where you get to meet all the fun Lokis, and then the last episode is meeting He Who Remains, right? So we're literally following the exact path of the last season, and
when you put it like that,
sorry, like I'm just saying,
I did enjoy this episode. I think I will.
I like key lime pie
so far.
You know, in fairness, after I complained about it last week, I did go and buy a key lime pie. I bought a whole pie, so we were eating that it was great. It was delicious.
It's not the greatest, but it's delicious.
Do I want key lime pie again?
No,
maybe like one more time.
You're gonna get it 2 more times.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't want it that often. I think I'm having a hard time with the fact that Mobius is just kind of like doesn't really have a character this season. Like, he just wants to eat pie.
I don't know why he has a snap card.
I think he's just trying to avoid, you know, the existential dread that setting on everyone else in the TVA.
Yeah, but I wish they would show more of him like going through like
I think
phases of it.
Get that next episode. He's a strong character. He doesn't break in front of his peers.
I guess I want to see him break. I want to see Owen Wilson really like act. You know, like I want to like because he's just been chilling and eating pie for this whole season, and so
I gotta blow up his spot
because I know he's better than this. I know he is.
I liked in the pie room the scene with Loki and Sylvie, where it's basically along the lines of you're playing God, and Loki's like, we are gods. I'm like, yeah.
And then moments later, they get the magic barrier turned off.
And they get the magic, like do some Loki shit in the Loki show. Damn it, that's what I'm here for.
I did appreciate that. I will say so when I'm complaining, I do think this was the best episode of the season so far.
Yeah,
it really was. It really was. It's a low bar is my problem. You know what I mean? So like,
and the worst part, I'm glad there's only 2 more episodes.
Same.
I'm happy that I like it's a tight story. It's gonna be. I can already feel it's gonna be a tight story.
Because if this dragged on for 4 more episodes, I'd be like, oh gosh.
I want X-Men 97 and What If so bad right now.
97 next year, man. You're not getting
so bad. I still want them.
Ouroboros meeting Victor Timely was also cool, and the meta-ness of that.
It was cute.
Okay,
wait.
I know this is kind of jumping subjects just a little bit, but
Mhm.
just because we're talking about quality control and things, so we know how they're rebooting Daredevil because they
Mhm.
realized, okay,
The showrunner of Punisher and Jack Ryan, same guy, is going to be the new showrunner for Daredevil.
really?
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I don't like their Jack Ryan.
I like the Punisher. I thought that show
I do.
was pretty
So that's
cool.
you know what? That's fair. I like the Punisher.
Yeah,
I don't like their version.
That seems
of
to
Jack
be the
Ryan.
more important part of the equation.
I know,
You know what?
right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Dude. Well, okay. To
You
be
don't
fair,
like-
I liked season 1 of Punisher. I think there were 2 seasons,
Yes.
right? Yes.
But kind of like my point is that I'm looking at the 6-episode arc and I'm feeling exactly what people are saying in the articles about how they just filmed all 6 and then said, okay, let's let Kevin look and see what we have and how to.
that's
Yeah.
like, well, this thought just popped in my head, and I want to see if you guys can do it. What is this order of the story in the Netflix shows? So what I mean by this, it goes Daredevil season 1.
Yeah.
2
Daredevil
seasons.
season
Of,
2.
2 seasons of Daredevil,
Mm-hmm.
and then I believe Jessica Jones was
Jessica
next.
Jones. Yeah.
That's a sequel to the end of the second season of Daredevil, correct?
Jessica
Well,
Jones?
Yes, Jessica Jones. It's story.
It doesn't happen. Yeah, it happens after that, but it doesn't. It's not. They don't
Okay.
meet or in any way.
Okay.
Yeah, Jessica Jones happens, and then Luke Cage
Cage.
ends off at Jessica Jones,
Mm-hmm.
and then I believe
Luke Cage season 1.
Season 1, and then I believe I think Punisher happens before Daredevil season 3, but I don't think it had nothing to do with the Defenders.
Mm-hmm.
So like Daredevil goes on the longest break. So basically it's 2 seasons of him, then all the other shows, and then season 3 of Daredevil kind of ties it up, and then
So
like
you can't name the order.
I
I was thinking about like if I wanted to go back and watch those shows, I would have no idea how to watch those shows.
Oh, well, I'm saying, yeah, you definitely watch 2 seasons of Daredevil, then Jessica Jones, then Luke Cage, then Iron Fist. You don't have to watch the Punisher to watch the Defenders. You just have to watch all those other ones. The Punisher kind of is separate from the Defenders, right? Like it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But so you can watch those independently, and then just watch the first season of it before going back to Daredevil season 3, I believe.
Well, where does Jessica Jones 2 and 3 and Luke Cage 2 and Iron Fist 2
all of those have nothing to do with the Defenders, so you can watch them whenever you want. They from that point on, after the Defenders, like all the rest of stuff remaining, you can watch in any order. It doesn't really matter. I think the only thing that matters is that Luke Cage was the very last show, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
I thought it was Jessica season 3.
It was Jessica season 3.
If it was Jessica season 3, that season was terrible.
It was terrible, which is why I never finished it.
Awful. Yes.
It was weird because like the news had already come out. Well, like I think before one of the show came out.
Yes.
That they were all getting moved or whatever.
I think it was when Luke Cage season came out is when they announced it.
Yes.
Is when they announced it. And that's why I remember that being the last, but it's not really the last.
I like the Luke Cages. As we said before, in horrible irony, Iron Fist 2 was way better than Iron Fist 1.
Iron Fist 2 is pretty good. Season 2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was kind of surprised, but do I recommend that you put up with all that other stuff I just listed to watch Iron Fist season 2? Nah, don't do it. It's not worth it.
You don't want to hear the word Beecham that much.
Daredevil season 1 or 2 are like the best things that have come out like outside of the MCU. Those are some of that show is still better than like pretty much every MCU show that has come out, with one exception. She-Hulk is great because Daredevil is in it. and also because She-Hulk is great. So I guess it's just they're really good at doing lawyer shows. That's about it. That's it. But that said, yeah, I feel you. Tying it back, like I feel like I feel like Feige did not have a chance to see all of Loki until it was done. And then he's like, I've got notes. Well, too bad. We already got to air it next week, like something like that. It just doesn't feel like it's a story worth telling.
I mean, originally this was supposed to be done in the summer. Air in the summer. If you go back to the original Phase 5 announcement, Loki was a summer show. So they did delay it a little bit.
Does that make a difference? Like,
no.
You think, yeah.
Well, I think that's when they also when they realized, okay, we're sending our content out too fast.
Yeah.
And so they slowed it down.
The problem is you put it out too slow, people are going to get more critical of it.
Yeah.
They're going to get more critical, That's what
I think back to the key lime analogy. I'm open for more. I'm not repulsed by the idea of getting two more episodes of the same quality.
In 2 weeks, we have a major Marvel movie coming out, and who's talking about it?
I know, right?
Oh, there's some crazy spoilers stuff coming out of that one. If you want to know.
No, I don't. But
no, we're not spoiling.
Okay.
We're not spoiling. We're not spoiling a movie that we've had.
But it makes me so sad. I hate because I don't care. I'm excited to see it.
Well, you can't promote movies right now, Clarke. It's like
that's true. You can't promote movies, and that's the problem. But people are already. It's all set up for being a failure, and I hate that. I hate seeing just the mountain of hate that's just waiting in the shovels of all the.
Yeah, my keyboard.
Yeah. But just as a reminder, the previous one was one of the most successful Marvel movies at the time ever. So
my mind
I think
when I see
the shitty thing is people are going to hold it.
Call it a bomb. I can't stand it, and I've gotten into some discussions on.
I don't think
I don't think it's going to make the second one's going to make $1 billion.
And no, I don't think it will either. But I think it'll do well.
But it's a different time. They're like in the movie.
Well, sure, it made money, but critically, it was a bomb. I'm like, shut up.
I don't love that movie, but I'm saying anybody who thinks that it bombed is crazy because it made so much money. So I don't think the new one's going to bomb, and I think it's going to defy, I think
Sam Jackson, you're fine.
I don't think that's why it's going to do good.
No, the problem is it's got 3 amazing women, and you just said it's got Sam Jackson. It'll be fine. That's
exactly.
That's not good.
I mean, 2 of those people got Oscars. One of them, Sam Jackson, and one of them, Brie Larson. Right?
Sure.
I don't know where I'm going with that one.
I don't know. She has an Oscar for sure.
She won Best Actress for The Room.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yes,
but
we can we can wrap this up. I know what you're saying, Clarke. I think I'm saying this is going to be like the Giant Man HasLab all over again. I think
I need a chart.
I hope so.
I need a chart day one.
I think that movie is going to make a ton of money. And bonus, if it ends up being reviewed well, like it'll do even better. You know what I mean? Because it's not going to make the money like Ricky said. Different time, guys. We can't. Movies aren't making $1 billion anymore. It's not happening very often. But I think it'll do fine, and I'm really excited for it. Just because I want to see a story that potentially matters. And I think that one's going to matter more. Like, it's at least going to matter more to those 3 people. Like sometimes I'm watching Loki and I don't even understand why all of this matters to Loki. Like I'm like, I don't get it. Like sometimes I'm like, are you just going through the motions because you think you should be doing heroic stuff? Like, I don't know. I haven't seen Loki get like to have a life to understand. I want to understand who Loki is when he's not doing these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just constantly doing adventure. Like he doesn't get to like not have adventure and chill out for a little bit. And so it makes me not know him as a person. And also he likes to call himself a god too. That makes it just that just makes it look weird, So
It's weird if you are God.
I don't know. I mean, who
Well,
are you to say you're a god?
what's a God to a non-believer?
There you go.
But you know what, true believers,
A
we
super
always
God.
love you. And if you love us, where can you find us, Dennis?
You can find us at Denix Media on Patreon. You can find us in all the social medias, Denix Media. Especially Instagram and YouTube. But we're on the other ones too, like the Twitch and I think X. Even we're on X.
Yeah,
Unless they make us pay for it. If they make us pay for it, we're out. I'm not paying for X. I'm just letting you know.
All right.
That's fair.
Subscribe to our Patreon so we can pay for X.
No.
Clarke, you want people to find you?
Not yet. I got something cooking. Hopefully next time I'm on,
something
I
in
can
the
make a big
oven.
announcement.
Nice.
But I've got drafts of. I got my opening done. I just need to get some more episodes in the can and build my web page. So I've got something really cooking. Like you can turn on the oven light and you can see it's baking. So that's the stage that I'm at. So it's
okay. Can I smell it yet? Is it giving off aroma?
It's called The Wandering Crane.
Okay. Ooh.
And it's a podcast about some really interesting, amazing places around the world.
I'm sure we will have you on before the end of the year.
Yes.
Multiple times.
And I will. So my goal is by the next time you have me on, I get to make my big announcement.
We'll see you next week.
But you already announced it just now.
I know. He sucked it out of me.
Instant scoops here at Den Excelsior.
But I don't. It doesn't have a home. I don't have a website yet. So
gotcha. Cool. But yeah, just like Ricky was saying, just remember if you did like this any part of this video, please just hit that button and then help boost the stats by mentioning something in the comments or whatever. Like go in there and just say, hey guys, you look old or something like that. Whatever you want to say.
Yeah, go if you want some numbers read, get Dennis on your show.
Yeah, just don't say racist. Just say racist stuff. That's the only thing. Just don't do that.
That's a good rule in life, like forever.
Yeah, don't do racist stuff. Other than that, you can make fun of us. It's cool. It's fine. I dare you to just type something in. Just say something. Do it. All right, are we done? We're out of here.
We are done. With that, true believers. Enough said.